I'll continue with the second section of the lecture, that is the development of the diaphragm. You get a full question on the development of the diaphragm. So what is a diaphragm? It is a dome-shaped musculotendinous partition which separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. So what are the different parts of the thoracic cavity? The pericardial cavity and the two pleural cavities which lie above the diaphragm will form the thoracic cavity. They occupy the thoracic cavity, while the peritoneal cavity, it will lie below the diaphragm. So there are four components, essential embryonic components of the diaphragm. So firstly is the septum transversum. Secondly is a pair of pleuroperitoneal membranes. Then is the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus. And finally, the mesoderm of the body wall. Okay, the mesoderm of the body wall. So firstly, the septum transversum. So this one is the lateral view of the embryo. This one is the cranial part. This one is the caudal part. So over here, this section has been magnified over here. This is a cut section of at the level of septum transversum. So this one is the developing heart over here. You can see this one is the primitive pericardial cavity. This one is the pleural cavity that has been formed. This one is the septum transversum. Since it is a cranial fold, so this will be the pleuropericardial fold. This will be the pleuroperitoneal fold, okay, which will be forming the pleuroperitoneal membrane, and it will be completing the formation of the diaphragm, dividing the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. Okay. So the septum transversum, it is formed from a mesodermal tissue, and it will contribute to the central tendon of the diaphragm. Diaphragm के भी खूब सारे parts होते हैं. It has got a central tendon, it has got crura, it has got a muscular part, and then it has got a peripheral part. So just the central tendon of the diaphragm, it is contributed by the septum transversum. So initially there was septum transversum. Over here you can see it is forming the ventral part. It has come to lie on the ventral part after the head fold. So it will grow dorsally from the ventrolateral body wall, and it forms a circular shelf which separates heart from the developing liver. Liver is also being formed over here into the septum transversum. ठीक है, तो जो सेप्टम ट्रांसवर्सन है वो वेंट्रल से डॉर्सल साइड ऑफ द बॉडी में जाएगा, डॉर्सल वॉल ऑफ द बॉडी में, एंड इट विल form a semicircular shell which separates heart from the developing liver. So over here you can see this one is the ventral part of the body. The septum transversum is going on the dorsal towards the dorsal body wall. Okay, so it will has become shelf-like, and it is separated the developing heart from the liver. So the septum transversum, it is first identifiable at third week of the intrauterine life as a mass of mesodermal tissue which is lying cranial to this primitive pericardial cavity. So after the head fold during fourth week, the septum transversum, it forms a thick incomplete partition between the pericardial and the abdominal cavity. So this one is the septum transversum. Over here you can see this one is the pericardial cavity, this one is the peritoneal cavity, and where this red part is the septum transversum. Then during its early development, a large part of liver is embedded into the septum transversum. This one is the longitudinal section. This one is the septum transversum. This one is a cardiogenic area, right? So over here you can see this area has been magnified over here. So a large part of liver is embedded in this septum transversum. Then there are large openings, that is the pericardio-peritoneal canals, openings for the pericardio-peritoneal canals on both the sides of the esophagus. Esophagus किससे बना है? फोर गट से, ठीक है. तो फोर गट्स के दोनों तरफ हमारे पास पेरिकार्डियो पेरिटोनियल कैनाल्स है, ठीक है. So these are the gap which has to be closed. So septum transversum, it expands and fuses with this dorsal mesentery of the esophagus and the pleuroperitoneal membranes. Pleuroperitoneals जो caudal which थे, it will seal off cranial this caudal opening of the pericardio-peritoneal canals. ठीक है. So the septum transversum expands and it fuses with the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus and the pleuroperitoneal membranes. So over here you can see these are the openings of the pericardio-peritoneal canals. These are the growing two pleuroperitoneal membranes which is now sealing off this gap. This one is the septum transversum. This one is the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus. So this is the dorsal part and this one is the ventral part. So the membrane, these are the two pleuroperitoneal membrane. They will fuse with the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus and the septum transversum. This completes the partition between the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity and forms a primordial diaphragm. ठीक है. So although the pleuroperitoneal membrane they form a large portions of early fetal diaphragm, but they represent relatively a small portion of the newborn's diaphragm. ठीक है. जो एम्ब्रियोनिक डायफ्राम है उसका प्लूरोपेरिटोनियल मेम्ब्रेन एक बहुत बड़ा पार्ट बनाती है, बट ग्रेजुअली ये श्रिंक ऑफ हो जाती है. इट इज गेटिंग इनकॉर्पोरेटेड इनटू दिस सेप्टम ट्रांसवर्सम. इट विल बी इनकॉर्पोरेटिंग इनटू द सेंट्रल टेंडन ऑफ द डायफ्राम और न्यूबॉर्न का ये एक बहुत छोटा पोर्शन रह जाता है उसमें. ठीक है. Then the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus. So the septum transversum and the pleuroperitoneal membrane, they will fuse with this dorsal mesentery of the esophagus or the mesoesophagus. So the mesentery, it forms the median portion of the diaphragm. So the two crura of the diaphragm, they are leg-like pair of diverging muscles and bundles that cross in the median plane anterior to the developing aorta. So the anterior to the aorta, and so they develop from the myoblast that grew into the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus. The crura of the diaphragm, they are derived from the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus. So these two crura, they are derived from the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus, and the myoblast, they have developed into these dorsal mesentery. So the central tendon is contributed by the septum transversum along with a part of pleuroperitoneal membrane, and the two crura, they are contributed by the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus. Now the muscular ingrowth from the lateral body walls. So during the 9th to 12th week, the lungs and the pleural cavities, they enlarge, burrowing into the lateral body walls. So during this process, body wall tissue is split into two layers. An external layer that becomes a part of definitive abdominal wall, and an internal layer that contributes to the peripheral part of the diaphragm, external to the parts which are derived from the pleuroperitoneal membrane. So because तो जो हमारा लंग है वो एक्सपैंड हो रहा है and it is compressing the body wall, so it will split it into two layer. external layer जो definitive abdominal wall बनाएगी और जो internal layer है it will contribute to the peripheral parts of the diaphragm. So over here you can have a better look. This is the large peripheral part which is contributed by the body wall. So over here this one is the first stage where septum transversum has not fused with the pleuroperitoneal membranes also. Here this is the opening of the pleuroperitoneal canals. Then they have sealed this pleuropericardial canal openings by the pleuroperitoneal membranes. ठीक है. Then this is the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus, which will contribute to the crura of the diaphragm. ठीक है. Then there is a muscular ingrowth. This purple one is the muscular ingrowth from the body wall. ठीक है. So this will form the large peripheral part of the diaphragm. So the central tendon is contributed by the septum transversum. Small peripheral part of the central tendon is contributed from the cruroperitoneal membrane. Then the crura are contributed by the dorsal mesentery of the esophagus, and the large peripheral part is contributed by the mesoderm of the body wall. So, because of its components, the innervation also differs of the diaphragm, and there are certain, because the descent of the septum transversum, there is positional change of the diaphragm. So here you can see this one is the lateral view of the developing embryo. This one is the developing heart. The blue line is the diaphragm, and this one, the purple one, is the liver. So septum transversum, before the relocation of the heart, it lies opposite the third to fifth cervical somites. ठीक है. I told you the paraxial mesoderm, it is giving rise to the somites. So initially septum transversum is lying opposite the C3 to C5 cervical somites. So during fifth week, myoblast from these somites, they will migrate into the developing diaphragm or the developing septum transversum. And then because of the descent, it will descend because of the head fold, so it will bring up along with it its nerve supply. So consequently, the phrenic nerves that supply the motor innervation to the diaphragm arise from the ventral primary rami of C3, C4 and C5 spinal nerves. So phrenic nerve, it also forms the sensory supply to the superior as well as inferior surface of the right and the left domes of the diaphragm. Now, what are the factors which are responsible for the descent of diaphragm? So, the rapid growth of the dorsal part of the embryo, which results in an apparent descent, यानी कि dorsal part इतना ज़्यादा grow हो रहा है, ventral part इतना grow नहीं हो रहा है, इससे ऐसा लग रहा है कि diaphragm descent हो रहा है. ठीक है. Then is the elongation of the neck. Then is the descent of the heart, because heart is also descent because of the head fold, and the expansion of the pleural cavities because of the developing lung. All these factors results into the descent of diaphragm. Now, since the peripheral part of the diaphragm, they develop from the lateral body wall mesoderm, so it receives its sensory innervation from lower intercostal nerves. So that explains the multiple innervation of a diaphragm, that is the domes and the central part, they are supplied by the phrenic nerve, whereas the peripheral part of the diaphragm, it is supplied by the intercostal nerves because it is derived from the mesoderm of the lateral body wall. So, why the phrenic nerves subsequently lie in the fibrous pericardium? Why the position of the phrenic nerve is present into the fibrous pericardium? Now, because of the cervical origin of the phrenic nerve, they are approximately 30 centimeters long. क्यों? क्योंकि वो डिसेंट हो गए सर्वाइकल सोमाइट के लेवल पे थी पहले सेप्टम ट्रांसवर्सम, देन इट हैज डिसेंडेड टुवर्ड्स द लंबर वर्टेब्रा, L1 तक वो आ गया, डिसेंट हो. ठीक है. So the phrenic nerve in the embryo enter the diaphragm by passing through the pleuropericardial membranes. So over here in this one is the pericardial cavity. These were the pleuropericardial membrane, which were the cranial fold. ठीक है. तो phrenic nerve जो ये fold है, इसके अंदर common cardinal vein and the phrenic nerve was present. Now, as these fold will grow towards each other and the lung will expand towards the periphery, so what happens, ये बीच में approximate होते हैं towards each other, and because of the descent of the septum transversum, the phrenic nerve has also descended. So that is why, because this pleuropericardial fold, they are contributing to the fibrous pericardium, so that is why they lie in the fibrous pericardium. Since fibrous pericardium, it is derivative of the pleuropericardial membrane. So the fibrous pericardium being a derivative of the pleuropericardial fold, and the pleuropericardial fold, it contains common cardinal vein and the phrenic nerve. So that is why phrenic nerve also supplies fibrous pericardium. So that also supplies why there is a referred pain of heart on the epigastric region, because the nerve supply of the fibrous pericardium and the central tendon of the diaphragm is the same, that is the phrenic nerve. Now the congenital anomalies of the diaphragm, that is congenital diaphragmatic hernia. So it is caused by failure of one or both the pleuroperitoneal membranes to close the pericardio-peritoneal canal. So you must be confusing कि कभी तो pericardio-peritoneal canal बोल देते हैं, कभी pleuroperitoneal canal बोल देते हैं. Actually they were pericardio-peritoneal canal, but क्योंकि प्लूरल कैविटी डेवलप हो गई तो बाद में जो पेरिकार्डियो पेरिटोनियल कैनाल की ओपनिंग टुवर्ड्स द पेरिटोनियम थी उसको हमने प्लूरोपेरिटोनियल ओपनिंग भी बोली. ठीक है, तो प्लूरोपेरिटोनियल जो ओपनिंग थी दैट वाज बीइंग क्लोज्ड बाय द प्लूरोपेरिटोनियल मेम्ब्रेन. ठीक है, sometimes there is failure of one or both of the pleuroperitoneal membrane to close that pleuropericardial canals, or you can say, or pleuroperitoneal openings. So this hernia allows abdominal viscera. ठीक है, क्योंकि प्लूरोपेरिटोनियल ओपनिंग कहाँ है, it is only forming a small part of the central tendon of the diaphragm and it is lying on the posterior side. ठीक है, तो इसे हम posterior lateral hernia भी बोलते हैं और the Burgdorf's hernia. ठीक है, so this hernia allows abdominal viscera to enter the pleural cavity. So in 85% to 90% of the cases, hernia is on the left sided. So generally, Burgdorf's hernia is on the left side, and the intestinal loops, stomach, spleen, and part of liver, it may enter the thoracic cavity. So the abdominal viscera in the chest, it will push the heart interiorly and compress the lungs, which will become hypoplastic. यानी कि लंग पूरा डेवलप नहीं हो पाएगा. क्यों? क्योंकि हमारे abdominal viscera कहाँ herniate हो गई, RX में. So अगर ये डिफेक्ट बड़ा होगा तो मोर्टेलिटी भी ज़्यादा होगी. क्यों? क्योंकि पल्मोनरी हाइपोप्लेजिया हो जाएगा, लंग डेवलप नहीं होंगे, एंड बेबी विल suffer from respiratory distress. Then there is a parasternal hernia. It is a small part of muscular fibers of diaphragm which will fail to develop. So a hernia, it may remain undiscovered in the when the child is several years old. It is frequently seen on the anterior portion of the diaphragm, so it is also known as parasternal hernia. So Burgdorf's was posterolateral. The parasternal is generally anterior hernia. And a small peritoneal sac containing intestinal loop may enter the chest between the sternal and the costal portion. Then a third anomaly is eventuration of the diaphragm. That is musculature in half of the diaphragm. It remains thin and membranous. So what happens? There may be ballooning. So it balloons out in the thorax, forming a diaphragmatic pouch because of upward displacement of the abdominal viscera. So this anomaly occurs when the muscle tissue does not develop in the pleuroperitoneal membrane. So it is most commonly on the left side. So that is the eventration of the diaphragm. So that completes our lecture. Next lecture will be on the development of the